Okay, so this weekend I started my next little project here. Here's the transmission. I was going to send it to a shop, but they want $2,000 to go through it. So I'm just going to replace the seals, the pan, the filters, and we'll just see. If it doesn't give any problems, then I'll be fine. So I'm going to replace this front seal here. It's not wet, okay? The pan, it's down underneath it. I'm going to pull the transfer case off and replace the inner seals in there, just so it's not a problem. Tail seal, I'm going to replace that. This is how nasty it looks now. You guys seen what the front axle look like? Well, this is aluminum as well, so I think I might go there. Here's the pan. The fluid was darker than normal red, but the only metallic that you see here is this is just rust that was piled up right there, and that's because where's the filler tube? Oh, I'm gonna squeeze. I gotta go around. Okay, because the filler tube itself. Okay, so the filler tube is right here. As you see, it's rusted away. So any dirt and stuff coming from outside, stay. It was rusted right here at the tube that goes in. So all the dirt goes in those holes and down. The rust from the filler tube goes down. Everything was piling up right there. Okay, but all this, I didn't touch this. There's no metal fragments or anything down here. It's just under this. We could probably do a quick swipe. And it's just rust. This is the magnet. Yeah. So, first time I've touched the magnet. Okay, let's see what we do here. Come on. Okay, so it's just like mud. That's all that is. There's no shavings or anything there. So we'll put that right there. I'll clean all this up, pull the gasket. It had a lot of fluid in it, so it's not like it was leaking a lot. So I'm thinking this is going to be in good shape. I'm thinking this was wet because of this rusted filler tube, and these inline. What the fuck are they? The lines. Okay, cooling lines. All right, I gotta take care of that. Anyway, these cooling lines were a little rusted, so they may have been leaking as well. All right, so there's the transmission and the transfer case, as I just pulled it off of the cart. So let's see what I can do with it. This is the transmission, the bottom of the transmission. This is the transmission mount that goes to the cross member on the frame. So I pulled this off to clean it up so I could paint it and get it ready. And this is what I found out. So this is where it sits right here. Okay. So he takes 4 bolts to get this top part off, and then it separates. Let me do that for you. Okay. So that's the 4 bolts to hold the mount to the transmission. Okay, so the cross member sits on these 4 bolts here, and between the cross member, you can't see it unless you actually take this apart, but this part here decays, and it decays on both there and there as well. And when this goes all the way across, this whole piece, let's look at this right here real quick. All right, so this is a U shape, okay? And then when this shears off, boom and boom, then your transmission separates from the cross member. So the tail end is just gonna move from side to side, okay? So there's not a whole lot. I'm gonna have to get a replacement. I'm not even gonna try to fix that. So you might wanna check that to see if you have that problem. And then these two pieces here, okay, this part mounts to the transmission. Okay, when you separate these two, I must have got a bolt in there, don't I? I do. Hold on, I'll put it in there just so I don't separate. Okay, when I separate these two, I'm just gonna open it up like a sandwich. Okay, so between these two was just this flat steel, and it caused, so I'm up in the rust belt, yes. But these two pieces of flat steel started to rust, and it actually swelled up. And I got a big chunk, but it actually was a swelled piece of steel. So it started eating through the top, and then this part here was also eating here. So that's what two pieces of steel is going to do. They'll start eating each other up. Okay, so when these go, they separate the lower mount from the upper mount. So this one here is in bad shape, as you can see there and there. And this one here is, I can repair that. I'm going to take a piece of steel a second. I'm just going to weld this up here. If I can't get this piece, I'm going to weld this up here and just put new holes in. That'll replace this part here. I could do the same thing. Good catch. I could do it here, but that still doesn't answer my problem for this. So I'm just going to have to find another one of these. But I just awareness. I want you guys to just, it doesn't take you very long. Poke underneath your truck. Look at between the cross member and the mount to see how this looks right here, if this is fine. Because if this goes, your tail end is going to be all loose. Okay, that's all. Okay, so in my last video that I showed you, okay, I didn't do anything more on this. Like I said, here's a rust hole. This one is almost rotted across. Same thing with the other side of it. Okay, the back side is gone. That's the only good side out of 3 sides. Okay, so went down to pull apart today, and 20 bucks later, I just pulled these out of the sandblaster. That's 100%. That's the difference. These start your hole there. Okay, there's that. And then you got this piece here. This is 100% here, 100% there. And there's your factory holes. There's your comparison. Okay, compare it to that and that. So 20 bucks later, I got a new transmission mount. This came out of a Dakota. No, I'm sorry. This came out of a Durango. None of the Dakotas had one like this, but when I passed by a Durango, I thought, well, let's just poke my head under there, and there it is. So we spent the day pulling this out, and there it is. So now off to doing some rust conversion, and then prime it up. So make sure you check your mounts. Make sure it's not much to fix them. Okay, bye. So here's the transmission bracket that I picked up. Sandblasted, converter, primer, and then 2 coats of paint. And it's all there. So these are ready to rock and roll. And then I started today on the front drive shaft. So that's all down to bare metal, and it's got a converter on it, and then we'll spray that. Okay, so I've started to work on my transmission. So I got her outside. It's 20 degrees outside. It's freaking cold. Put a new seal up front. I got new sensors. Rebuilt the drive shaft, so that's done. That's ready to go. And let's see. And I've started over here. So you see how this finishes? It's like really nasty and corroded, and just it's gonna be a pain in the ass, and it won't even clean up right. So I brought the wire wheel out. So if you can see, kind of got a little luster to it. So I'm just kind of curious. Can I do the same thing as I did with my front end? So anyway, news to come. But anyway, let's just see what I can get done. Well, it's looking pretty darn good. Got up here. I noticed I kept getting poked. So I stopped to find out, and my wire brush is getting a little thin. So where's all the wires going? Well, they're on the table, and they're sticking in my shirt. So this is probably a really good idea to wear protective clothing and always wear a face shield. Of course, I am, of course. See? So, yeah, but they just been stabbing the shit out of me. I'm gonna need a stronger brush, because I'm gonna wear this brush out real quick. That's just weird. Okay, so what I have here is, this is the Dakota 545. Here's your transfer case here. This is your filler tube, and then this is your drain tube on the transfer case. This is a number 10 metric, okay? My issue is this one is nice and loose. You know, I was able to drain my oil. However, somebody was really nice enough to round all the corners off of this here. This is a steel plug on the aluminum casing. And I'm not quite sure if anybody's run into this. I'm sure it's a right-hand thread, it's normal. But, you know, if I tack weld something in there, am I going to affect that transfer case? If you guys got an idea, let me know. All right, so I ended up, had to drill a hole through it. But it is loose now. Come on. No shit. I still got to put a bar on it to bring it down. All right. Man, this wants to fight me all the way. I didn't have any easier extractors this big. Had to go pick one up. Then I had to drill a hole all the way through it to get this deep in. There we go. And she's up. Okay, thanks guys. Continuing on. She's all cleaned up and ready for paint. Was gonna polish her up, but that's just way too much work. So I got her all cleaned up. She's been washed down several times. And now we're gonna paint her up and make her look pretty. And you probably see this on Facebook. So I studied this and went to different brands, and this is what we're gonna try. Okay, so here I go. And there you have it. 2, almost 3 coats of aluminum paint. So I'm gonna let it dry for a couple days. It's dry to the touch now. I had to lift it up so I could do, God damn it. Lift it up so I could do the other side, or the underneath. But, oh, there she is. Okay, so time to wrap her up for till spring. And here it is. It's been hanging here for 3 or 4 days now, just drying and hardening up. I didn't want to bother with it. I'm going to unmask it, and then I'm going to install the new seals. The front's in already. There's tail seals, the sensors, and the drive shaft coupler. Went ahead and you know, refinished this down to bare metal and clean this up, so it's gonna look good. This is where it goes here for the front wheel drive. And on this side here, we'll put the heat shield back on, 4-wheel drive sensor, and then it's not 4-wheel drive sensor. Anyway, the other sensors here, and then I'm going to go ahead and put her on a cart. Rear seal installed, sensors in, drive shaft coupler torqued down, and ready to wrap her up, put her to bed for a while. And there she is, all wrapped up for a nice winter's nap. We'll be seeing this one back in spring. Okay, off to the next one.